Hello and welcome. You tune in to Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Sharad Dubey. And for the next 1 hour, we'll take you through the top buzzes in trade, why they're buzzing, either on the back of news flow or on the back of technical charts. But first up, let's take stock of how the market is really shaping up. Sharad, as of now, good recovery coming in. We have recovered from the day's lows on the Nifty, good more than 80 points recovery, and Nifty Bank also more than 200 points of recovery coming in from the day's lows.
Exactly, Ankita. That's the right point. Recovery is coming in. If you look at Nifty, then levels, it's almost near the 25,200 mark, and from the day's low itself, a strong recovery has happened. And if you look at the Nifty Bank, that's also is seeing a good recovery. And of course, HDFC Bank, which is a heavyweight in the Nifty Bank index, a good news coming in. And on July 19th, they will be actually looking out for bonus issue as well as special dividend as well. Let's look at Nifty Bank's chart, which are the top gainers in the Nifty Banking Index. And over here, of course, we are seeing PNB, Bank of Baroda, SBI, Canara Bank, Federal Bank, all the mid-cap banks seeing a significant buying, at least in the later part of the day. Over the last 30 odd minutes, there has been a strong recovery. Bank of Baroda, PNB, SBI, which is of course in focus because today is an important fundraise day, and it's expected, as sources to it suggest, that there should be a 25,000 crore QIP issue as well. Apart from that, PSU banking space, IT has also seen a strong recovery, especially looking at Tech Mahindra, which is almost at its day's high levels, and today the Q1 earnings will also be coming in. And also FMCG and realty pack is something where we are seeing a strong buying happening.
Alright, so that's how the market is really shaping up. That's how the construct of the market looks like as of now. A recovery coming in there. But let me get on board Raj Deepak Singh, who's the analyst derivatives ICICI Direct, who's joining us on the technicals. And from our research team, we're joined by Rabinder and Kanishka as always. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. Let's get started with the show and all the top buzzers in trade. First up is M&M. Now, the April to June quarter of FY26 has witnessed a major shake-up in the ranking of automobile manufacturers, even as the overall industry sales remains rather flat. For the first time in a quarter, Mahindra & Mahindra has pipped Hyundai Motor to becoming the second largest automaker in domestic market. Now, M&M, the country's largest SUV manufacturer, reported 23.3% year-on-year increase in sales to 1,52,000 units in quarter 1 of FY26 as against 1,24,248 in the same period last year. Now, in contrast, Hyundai Motor had witnessed only an 11.5% year-on-year decline to 1,32,259 units as against 1,49,400 units in the same period last year. Now, in terms of exports, however, Hyundai continued to perform well by selling 48,000 units in the overseas market. In contrast, Mahindra sold only 5,950 units in the overseas market. But notably, Tata Motors has exited the top 3 spot in the April to June quarter in FY26. The company has slipped from to the 4th spot now during the quarter under review, with its domestic sales declining by 9.6% on a year-on-year basis. So that's the pecking order of how these automobile companies are doing.
Well, from automobile companies, let's move on to the pharma sector. Sun Pharma is in focus, and of course, there was a massive selling over the last 2 trading sessions, but now the stock is trying to recover and it's just above the 1700 level marks. Raj, what are the important technical levels looking like for Sun Pharma?
Hi, good afternoon everyone, and thanks for having me here today. Well, Sun Pharma is just a name which has been largely consolidating below its call base of 1700 for last 2 months, I would say. Even in the June and July both series, we have seen huge call build up at that strike, and it was not able to perform in line with the market, largely range bound. But after such as long consolidation and all the noise related to US tariff, it has finally moved beyond 1700 yesterday. Today, while it is coming down, but somewhere what we believe that it is the time when your second tier index names, particularly I'm talking about the next 40 names in the Nifty, they might come into the picture and start performing. Sun Pharma, I would be quite positive here with a stop loss around 1680. And one can play this stock with buying put option itself, and considering Sun Pharma results is towards the fag end of the July series. So we won't lose much on the option premium towards the end because of the results. Those options premium will remain intact, largely remain intact. And what we believe that Sun Pharma might move towards 1750 to 1800 levels in the next 1 week or so.
Sun Pharma may move to levels of 1800 plus, and of course their export data for the last 3 odd months are expected to be on the higher side when they report their earnings. Also, general insurance stocks will be in focus, and a positive news flow coming in as IRDAI's board meetings. 132nd board meeting has come out. IRDAI has approved rural, social and motor third-party obligations, and this is for fiscal year 26 and 27 both. Now, also the regulations will be coming on the information and maintenance and sharing guidelines for insurance repositories and e-policy issuance as well. In trade itself, GIC and New India Assurance, both these stocks are buzzing in the positive segment, and of course the life insurance and the general insurance plans, if you look at it, they are also reacting on their earnings as well.
Right, so let's move on from the insurance space to Shilpa Medicare. Rabindra, this one's perked up in trade. It's up and away 5%. Tell us what's the news flow that's really aiding the stock?
Yes, Shilpa Medicare is in focus, where company's Unit 6 Bangalore Karnataka plant has received EIR with VAI classification from US FDA for GMP inspection, which was conducted from October 24 to 30, 2024, and the facility is capable of manufacturing, packaging, testing, storage and distribution of 2 types of complex dosage form, oral dissolving films and transdermal system, and the unit is already approved by EMA, Europe, MHRA, UK, SFDA, Saudi, TGA and Australia, and the unit is currently supplying oral films product to US and the other markets, and the transdermal product have been filed in the European market. So back of this news, Shilpa Medicare is in focus, and the stock is holding a gain of 5%.
Alright, moving on then to the next counter. This is Max Health. Raj, you picked out Max Healthcare for us. Tell us, what do you see on the chart for Max Health?
Not exactly from the charts. I would say this is more of from the quantitative perspective. I would like to recommend this name. And if you look at the hospital names or hospital industry across the board, then these names have been significantly outperformers despite the volatility what we have seen in the market or even in the pharma sector per se. In F&O, the stock is a new entrant. But one thing I can tell you, that the stock is on the verge of in the part of NSE 100 at least, if not Nifty. So the fund buying we are expecting here, and this Max Healthcare is likely to move higher, and it's not more of a short-term trade. I believe it is more of an accumulation trade which we should be pursuing on. And if one has to look out from the short-term perspective, then perhaps till it is holding above 1180 odd levels, perhaps immediate basis for 1320 to 1400 are the likely target. But on a long-term perspective, I believe that the stock is this significant upsides left in this name, more than 30 to 40%. That's what I'm expecting over a couple of quarters here.
Last 4-5 odd sessions, Max Health did jump from 1200 levels and right now resting at around 1260 levels, and of course there was a strong momentum in the stock as well. Apart from this, Biocon would be in focus, and Biocon is a positive news flow coming in the day's trade, and stocks saw a significant jump initially, a gap up opening coming in. Kaniksha, what are the details coming in for Biocon?
That's right. So like you pointed out, Biocon is in focus after the US FDA has approved insulin aspart, which the company brands as Kirsty. Now, this drug is a rapid-acting human insulin analog indicated to improve glycemic control in adults and pediatric patients with diabetes mellitus. Now, currently, this drug is available in the European Union and Canada market since 2022. Now, the approval is the first and only interchangeable biosimilar to Novolog. Now, according to IQVIA, as per its 2024 data, insulin aspart total sales worth nearly $1.9 billion in the US market. With now Biocon Biologics getting the nod for this particular drug, the MD and CEO Shreya Stambe says that the approval is a very significant step forward in the company's efforts to make insulin more accessible and affordable. Hence, the stock is in focus today, trading more than 1% higher at this point.
All right. Well, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we're getting you more buzzers on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're tuned into market, Fatafat, where we're getting you all the buzzers in trade. Let's resume with all the stocks that are in news today then. There's IOB, Indian Overseas Bank, that is in focus on the back of the fact that they have reduced their marginal cost of funding based lending rate, or the MCLR rate, by 10 basis points across all loan tenures. Now, the new rates will come into effect from the 15th of July 2025, and the revision follows the bank's earlier move to cut its repo-linked lending rate by 50 basis points from an 8.85% to 8.35% effective from June 12th. Now, the revised MCLR rates are thus: overnight MCLR is at 8.15%, the 1 month MCLR stands at 8.40%, the 3 month MCLR is at 8.5%, and 6 month MCLR stands at 8.8%, and the 1 year MCLR stands at 9%. Now, this rate cut is likely to reduce the borrowing cost for the bank's retail and corporate customers. On the back of this MCLR rate cut, IOB is in focus today, trading upwards of 2.5%.
Well, Sanketa, Indian Overseas Bank has seen a sharp spike in the last 15 to 20 odd minutes and going past the 40 mark as well. But let's focus on auto stocks, especially Bajaj Auto, TVS Motors. A positive news flow coming in as sources to ET Now suggests that a rare earth pact would be soon, and India would be actually engaging with countries such as Chile and Peru when it comes to overall materials and also technological agreements when it comes to have with Korea and Japan. Now, what happens is this becomes positive for the auto stocks, especially in the EV segment where a lot of rare earth is required. So that's why Bajaj Auto and TVS Motor are in focus.
Alright, moving on then to the next counter, which is HDFC Life. That's an earnings candidate. Rabinder, tell us what does the report card for HDFC Life look like?
Well, yes, on back of the Q1 FY26 earning, HDFC Life is in focus. Announced the Q1 FY26 number, and company APE grew by more than 12% year-on-year basis to rupees 3,255 crore, and company's VNB margin was at flat at 25.1% on a yearly basis. If we talk about PAT, then company's PAT also grew by approx 15% on a yearly basis, and HDFC Life outperformed the overall industry and private sector, resulting into a 70 basis point increase in the market share of the company at overall level, and the persistency metrics remain healthy with 13 and 61 month persistency at 86% and 64% respectively. And there are some brokerage note coming on where Jefferies has maintained the buy rating, but they have a high target price of rupees 760 as compared to earlier target price of rupees 720, and Citi has also maintained the buy rating with target price of rupees 975. Stock was up more than 2.5% in the early trading session, but it is all its gain, and but stock is still holding at a green, and stock is up 0.5%.
Well, yes, weak set of numbers, but mixed commentary coming in for HDFC Life. But let's get in more details. HDFC Life continues to see a good margin growth, says MD and CEO Vibha Padalkar. She remains bullish on the protection business along with a healthy ULIP mix. Listen in.
Our philosophy has been a balanced product mix as well as balanced distribution mix, and that came in very handy in the first quarter amidst a lot of macro turbulence that continues. So a few segments that did very well was on the back of new product launches. Our participating segment grew over 100%. Our protection business grew by 19%. Annuity business grew by 25%. Unit link continued to be fairly well received by our customers, so that also grew about 15%. It's really holistic and coming together of many things. And the last point is on margins. If you were to look at margins, actually there's been an increase of 40 basis points in margins.
All right, moving on from HDFC Life to Indian Oil that you picked out for us, Raj. Now, as far as these oil and gas companies are concerned, Raj, they have been in focus whether on the back of news flow or especially the movement in the oil prices that we have seen, the drastic movements. But on the charts, what do you see for Indian Oil?
Like you rightly pointed out, if you look at the crude oil prices, so they were not able to move beyond $70 per barrel mark despite all these noises or the conflict which we have seen in the Middle East region, and they started coming down once again. And if you compare all the three OMCs, so HPCL, BPCL ICL, they have primarily taken the lead, outperformed IOC. IOC has been so far remained a laggard. What we believe that from here on, IOC may try to do some catch-up exercise. And from the data front, if you look at, then the highest fall base for the stock was at 150. So it has been consolidating beyond or above 150 odd levels for some time now. So it's just a matter of time when we might see a good uptick over here. I won't be surprised if by the end of the month the stock is 8 to 10% up from the current levels. For any long positions, I will keep my stop loss around 137 odd levels.
Well, yes, SBI is also in focus. Just now, board update is coming in. They are expected to have a 20,000 crore fundraise, and this is via issue of bonds for FY26. Street was estimating this number to be roughly around 25,000 odd crore rupees. And just now the results have come in. Of course, stock is at its day high levels. Also, stock has jumped almost 2% as well. Now, coming back to the stocks, Kanishka Rallis India is in focus. Of course, yesterday we saw a very strong set of quarterly numbers coming in. The stock saw a good jump as well. In today's trade also, broking upgrades are coming in. Could you give us more details, Kanishka?
That's right. So like you said, it is in focus today on the back of updates that are coming from brokerages after a very strong Q1 FY26 performance that was driven by seasonal tailwinds and robust volume growth. Now, Nuvama, that has maintained a reduced call on the stock, but it has raised the target price to 202 rupees from 182 rupees earlier. It has cited improved near-term earnings outlook for this upgrade. However, the brokerage firm is cautious that the volume growth that may moderate in Q2 if channel inventory build during the good sowing season isn't fully cleared. In fact, Nuvama has also raised its FY26 and 27 EPS estimates by over 6% and rolled forward valuations to FY28, keeping the stock on our radar today. Now, on the back of this brokerage note, following a very strong set of numbers that we saw yesterday, the stock continues to be in focus. However, it's trading near around those flat levels at this point.
Alright, so that's Rallis India on the back of the brokerage notes that have come in after the strong show in Q1. But let me come to you, Raj. You picked up CDSL for us. Now, if you look at the capital market theme, CDSL has been a bit of an underperformer. So, what do you see in the charts for CDSL hence?
See, what happened that the entire up move what we have witnessed, it was more of a short covering along with the cash-based time. But in last couple of months, and particularly I would say from the mid-June onwards, it's more of a sell on rise sort of a stock, and the call base, which is we are experiencing around 1800 sort of level, 1800 strike particularly, that is humongous. So until unless stock is not able to surpass those levels, it would be difficult for us to remain positive here. And it would be better if one can remain more of a seller in here. I think with the stop loss around 1800 or even 1790, we can expect the stock to move towards 1630 or even lower levels once again.
The important levels coming for CDSL, and of course some correction was there in the capital market themes as Ankita had pointed out. But up next is Bajaj Finserv. Now, IDA has given a nod for the transfer of its equity coming between the promoter entities and also the insurance subsidiaries. Now, this approval has come in for both aforesaid insurance subsidiaries for the transfer of equity schemes held by Alliance SE, representing roughly 26% of the paid-up equity capital to the company Bajaj Holdings and Investment, and also Janmalal Sons Private Limited. So it's an interstate transfer, but for a proper restructuring, this was a positive news flow coming in for Bajaj Finserv.
Alright, so that's Bajaj Finserv on the back of that news flow. But coming to you, Ravinder, ICICI Lombard is what you picked out for us. Another earnings candidate. Take us through what do the numbers look like for ICICI Lombard.
Well, yes, ICICI Lombard is in focus on the back of the Q1 earning, where company reported a gross premium return at rupees 8,054 crore, which was 1.5% on a yearly basis, and net earned premium grew by 14% year-on-year basis. And if we talk about PAT, then PAT grew by more than 28% at rupees 747 crore. And company reported a combined ratio at 102.9%, and solvency ratio was at 2.7 times. So gross premium return was below the estimate, and net earned premium and PAT was above the street estimate. So overall, a mixed set of number of ICICI General Lombard in Q1 FY26, and stock is holding a gain of approx 1%.
Thank you very much, Ravinder, for giving the Q1 update for ICICI Lombard. But now let's